Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the things we did not get to during the course of the show today, including we have some guests from out of town. Woo! Thank you guys for joining us.
And they brought us some Buc-ee's.
Oh, I love that. And I see now. Here, come on over here real quick, my guy. Now, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine, okay? Did you have that Buc-ee's hat before today?
No.
So this is brand new. You got it.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're rocking it too, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks really good on you. They brought us some snacks and a dog treat for Gavin, like a chew toy.
It's going to be great to play with the dogs later.
Fantastic. We appreciate you so much swinging by and making this part of your trip. He's graduating, so congratulations. We appreciate you, man.
Also,
Thank
too, I'm
you.
a little concerned about him because he brags about the fact that everything he knows he's learned from you, and honestly, that's really doing him a disservice.
That kid going places. Yeah. We don't know where.
Yeah, look at you.
Places.
You didn't go anywhere.
He's wearing a frowny stick.
Yeah, I've worked my way to the middle, and I ended up with you. So, okay.
You're welcome.
I have to thank some people. After my friend Gabe passed away, and we talked about it on the show, all of a sudden I got all these cards in the mail from people that I don't know, and I'm like, what in the world? What's going on? And I'm assuming it was this Note Garden Ministry because they have like a bunch of them had the same sticker on it, Note Garden Ministry, and so I guess I got kind of like getting put on a prayer chain. I got put on this this card chain, and so all of these people, just random people, were so nice to send me little condolences cards for the loss of Gabe, and they all wrote something personal in there and something.
Wow.
Like, what a really cool ministry that somebody started that matters to people. Like, you would think it's weird because you would think, well, what are strangers that I don't know, sending me a card, and they don't know what I'm going through or whatever. But it was just genuinely so kind that I thought it was fantastic. It was kind of like when Penn from Penn and Teller, who's an atheist, the guy gave him a Bible. A guy didn't know, and the guy gave him a Bible, and the guy, he said, it just landed with me. He kept saying he was a good man because the guy led with love. He didn't know him, but he just had concern for him as a person, and it made an impact on him. Penn goes, no, it didn't make me not be an atheist, but he was a good man, And that was kind of how this hit me. It was like, wow, that's really cool. These are good people.
Did that come to here or your home address?
No, it came to here. No, my home address, that'd be a little...
Yeah.
That'd be even a little scary, even if it's a good thought.
How sleuthy are you guys at the old Note Garden Ministry?
Very.
So they came there, but some of them actually had my last name, which was kind of wild, too. So I don't know how that happened.
Stalker.
It's something I used to protect a lot more back in the day, especially in mainstream radio, because like I would get death threats and stuff, and I had somebody put something in my mailbox one time, and it was like, oh, okay, that's crazy. But then I got here, and I didn't think twice about it, and then I got like death threats here, and I got somebody showing up to the station, but in West Palm, thinking I worked there, that wanted to hurt me. Apparently, I rubbed some people the wrong way when I got here. I know, right?
Crazy.
If anyone had a reason to kill me, it'd be Betty, but she hasn't yet. She somehow has.
Look at me. I've restrained.
I know, right?
Tried,
Last day.
Tried. My last day. And so, like, I used to be like super protective of my last name, so like, I always just go by Wally, and I don't talk about that or whatever. And then I've gotten more lax about it.
Does your wife know that?
Have I gotten older? No, I don't think.
I don't think she'd like that.
I don't think she would like that either. Yeah, because I don't worry too much about it. Like, we shot something one day, and you brought up, you're like, hey, your license plate's in there. I'm like, you know what? I'm fine. And
what are they gonna do?
Yeah, I know that guy wasn't thinking twice about it, but I think my wife brought it up. But I guess women are trained to be way more heightened about that stuff than men are.
Yeah,
and rightfully so.
Right, because I mean, it's literally every crime show you watch, it feels like it's always the victim is a woman.
Yeah.
So you just think of those things.
I remember having a guy that was sending us notes. This is the mainstream station, was sending us notes, and then like real creepy stuff, like stuff we turned over to the cops. And then he called the show one day, and I decided instead of cowering, I like doubled down. I went at him. And I'm like, oh, I know. I'm like, I'm gonna see you're crazy. I'm gonna raise you a level of crazy, okay? And
I see you, and I
did. I turned it up, and I'm still here today. So that was pretty good.
I don't know. We shouldn't learn from that. That's
don't learn from that one. That one's maybe not the best thing. This was a crazy story. Federal student loans. They say this fall will have the highest interest rate in more than a decade. Unbelievable. Like, this is okay. Now, I was really vocal about not being a fan of canceling student debt, because to me, I've always been of the mindset I know cancel Gavin needs it gone, but like you enter into a contract, you need to abide by that contract. You know what you were getting in for. You shouldn't have gone to an Ivy League school to come out and be a teacher. That's on you.
Especially to get a film degree.
Yeah, exactly, or a theater degree. Yeah, like my daughter has no.
Theater degree.
I know, it's funny. Fortunately, just a few months ago, like we were talking, and she was very kind and very thankful for that degree,
good.
for paying for that, because I set her up so she didn't have student loan debt, and like I did that, and I wanted to be thanked for that. I want her to understand that is a gift, man. Because look at Gavin, you're $500 a month on student loan stuff, right?
It's super fun.
Yeah, that's brutal.
And that's like, I am grateful for what my parents did. They definitely paid for a good amount of college, and then being with the Air Force gives out X amount of years for parents to give their kids. So all that to say, still very grateful for only for what little debt we have compared to some other people.
Yeah.
Hypothetical Hayden.
Sure.
This man.
He didn't go to a really nice school. He, got his associates.
Okay, yeah, junior college. I did that. Nothing wrong with that.
And
that's what I did.
He got a degree in humanitarianism.
Oh,
I don't even know if that's a thing.
It's not.
But it could be. Okay, but his goal is to benefit others by helping the hermit crab
community
infestations.
Okay.
And, the community.
A global warming degree.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. And a global warming degree. I love that. Now you said you set up Haley because she got a theater degree. Okay. Right. And here's Hayden.
Yeah.
He's looking out for the benefit of others. Okay. Right. Did you set him up to succeed?
No, he's a man. You got to pay for it. That's just the way it is. You got to find your way. I made my way. I made my way.
Your little girl is leading you straight into debt.
Yes.
And you're like, it's okay.
It's fine, pumpkin.
He made Hayden pay for Haley's
Daddy will be
college.
homeless for
you.
And
Hayden had to pay for Haley's college.
He's working 3 jobs and gets 4 hours of sleep a night. But
and Wally says, this might earn my respect. And
Maybe.
he's like, really?
No. No, but that was one of the best gifts that I could give her, because I was like, look, you're coming out with a degree you're not going to make a lot of money on, if you even make it, and so for me, I'm like, I wanted her to be able to take low-paying jobs and not have that,
and
so
Hayden
she could do
working 3 jobs.
I know.
And he's like, Dad, I want to be someone.
I just wanted it to land with her that that's not the norm, and that is a gift, because I had to take extra work on to do that, and so it's I want her to appreciate that.
What if Haley is not appreciative, but Hayden is just appreciative that you looked his way?
Yeah. If she was not appreciative of college, I might start liking Hayden at that point, because that's a big stinking deal.
Because you worked really hard for her to get the undergraduate degree. If she had wanted to pursue extra education, extra theater
100%
education,
on her.
that would have been 100% on her.
Yeah, she brought that up at one point, and after I stopped laughing, I'm like, how's this other thing working out for you? I'm like, no, I said, that's on you. I said, I gave you the head start here, your mom and I did. And this is your, gift. And then if you want to go do anything else, that's on you. She had talked about going back. Oh, it's funny because she wanted to go back and do graphic art stuff, which now she's kind of shifting into doing digital and web. She got a different job, and that would have been good for her. But I'm like, if you want to do that, that's fine. But that's on you. My commitment to your education is done.
Sure,
it is.
Yeah,
I'm telling. I told her that.
Anything.
You don't believe me.
Sure.
You don't believe me, but I told her that.
You don't understand.
This
is my dream now. I really know who I am.
Nope.
I'm speaking my truth.
Done.
Daddy.
Cleans his hands.
Done. I'm done. I'm Pontius Pilate on that
books
one.
Are expensive.
Nope. I'm washing my hands.
Tell
of
your
that.
brother. Get a 4th job.
Get in line. Exactly. The reason I brought all this up, though, was the government is going to raise the interest rates on loans. And like, here's the thing, like, okay, well, we're trying to bail out people on loans. We're trying to like, forgive all this debt, and that's been stopped. And so it's like, so if you truly cared about people, if you really, really, really cared about student loan, the one thing you could control is the interest rate on the student loans. Because they're federal loans. Like, you could actually think about this, give people lower cost loans, because it's still money. It's still money with an attachment to it. So whether you're making 1% or 7%, you're still making money on that loan. And over the course of millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, even a lower interest rate, you're still making money and you're making your principal back. And so the fact that the government is like even considering this, and they're not like they want to pretend like they care about you. The reality is they don't. And so like the fact that they're not willing to take and go, this is something that could actually help people. Yeah, because you're going to have loans. Most people are going to have some sort of loan for college. And so to not help them out on this end, but to rather, they're betting all the thing on, we just want to wipe your debt out because we want to cancel your loan because we're your savior. It's like, no, do this, because this is something you would have people that don't believe in the bailouts. This would be a compromise that actually keeps people accountable and makes them be smarter with their own money. You still make money on it, and the people that don't want the bailouts would be like, okay, that's fair. I like that. You don't have to make a bunch of money on it. Maybe even break even. Who cares? But at least you're keeping people accountable for what they take on, and stuff. So that was what I'm really shocked about, that Biden would even remotely let that happen. Like, I'm like, if nothing else, that's what he should be championing instead of his whole like, we're gonna pay off all your loans. Anyway, why are people blocking and abandoning celebrities? Betty Rock had found this the other day, and so another soapbox. I apologize. We have visitors here today, and I'm soapboxing like a champ.
I'm gonna get to mine.
I know, probably not. No, but this is the one that you gave me about what they call it, digitining. The digital guillotine, where they were starting to put pressure, digital guillotine, where they were starting to put pressure on people who just weren't speaking about Gaza. So they take celebrities, celebrities are so desperate for you to like them, because really their careers are based on it. Really, and the smartest ones are the ones that don't care what you think. But like, they're so desperate for you to like them that even though they've remained Switzerland on the Gaza-Israel thing, a lot of them, now it's like, that's not enough anymore. Like, these people are like, no, you have to support Hamas and you have to do all this nonsense, or else we're going to cancel you. What in the world? You are a terrorist, for this. It's crazy.
The same thing we've talked about, where it used to be you can show support for what I believe in just by verbally saying it.
Right.
Now you have to use your platform to put it out for the world to see. And even that's not going to be enough.
No.
Now you need to be in our parades.
You got to celebrate.
You have to celebrate. Yeah. You have to get out there with posters. And
you can't just be not against something. Now you have to not only be for it, but you have to celebrate it.
You have to fight for it.
Yeah, and if you're not, then you are on the wrong side. And that to me, I think, is so wrong, because I think people politically, there are people that shouldn't be voicing things politically because they don't know enough. Half the people that were protesting shouldn't have been protesting because they didn't know jack.
I think it's admirable to be someone who, if you're willing to work hard to get somebody onto your side, like we as Christians, it's like our whole idea and pursuit in life is to win people over to Christ. But the way that they're not trying to win you over to their argument. They are literally like absolutely shunning and like telling these people that they're going to be canceled if they're not going to be. Like, we don't go around to other people saying like, oh, we're going to cancel you if you don't become a Christian.
Right. Like this TikTok lady was like, we gave them their platforms. It's time to take it back. What? Are you kidding me? And believe it or not, it's working, because like Lizzo started posting videos about Gaza because she had ended up on their blocked list, of people.
And then she's danged if she does, and she's danged if she didn't, because people are saying, well, that's perfect timing because you were called out on it.
I love Michael Rappaport. He is an actor, and you know him. The second you see his face, you know him. You're like, oh, that guy. I can't tell you what he's been in, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. But it's funny because he has been very pro-Israel, and he has been so vocal about it. And he's like, look, I hate Trump. I coined a phrase about not voting for Trump that people were using, and he's like, I don't support Trump at all, but Biden is insane. And so like he's in this weird place where he doesn't like either of the candidates, which I think a lot of people are in that place. As we come into this next election year, it's going to be crazy because I think a lot of people are in that weird space of you're going to have to find why you choose to vote for somebody based on probably just one or two parameters because there's so much to not like about both of them. You're going to have to pick the one or two things that you're like, well, this is what's important to me, and this person meets that for me, regardless of who that person is. You know, but Michael Rappaport, he went nuts on the Hamas stuff. And I respected him. He chose to do that, not because he was forced to do it, because of the social pressure from people. And I think that's what's messed up.
I do think it's interesting. I don't think I've seen a very calm, civilized debate between. Sometimes you find like a good interview where there's a debate between. I haven't seen a really civilized debate between someone's taking the side of the Palestinian side versus the Israel side of things.
Yeah,
I've only seen screaming on both ends. I would love to see a civilized argument or a civilized debate on
I saw one on TikTok that I was surprised was actually pretty good, but it wasn't too long.
Because the voices that are loud are obviously the ones that are probably either the most not so educated and just trying to hop on a bandwagon. Like I would love to see very, very educated conversation about what's going on.
I love irony. Huge fan. And so my favorite were when people would go to the protests, the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian protests, and they would ask them questions. And these people were like, I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you. You need to talk to somebody from the media division of our protest. But like, I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you. And then people are like, yeah, don't talk to them. Like, wait a minute. You're here about having a voice. Yet, even inside of your own little perfect utopia that you've decided is the way we're going to do this, you're being silenced. How do you not see that as controlling and as wrong? How do you not look at that and go, wait a minute, I'm part of another bigger organization here, this thing that thinks it's doing right and supporting people, but then it's also silencing me. It's lunacy that they don't pick up on the irony of that. If anyone ever told me to be quiet, I'd lose my mind. I would instantly know you're a cult and I want nothing to do with you. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, that was fun. I know. Okay. I'm sorry, family. But you know what you're in for. You listen long enough. You know me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Either I can do my story or we can answer the birthday question. What would you prefer?
Let's answer the birthday question because we have to do a call after this. So
okay. Anna, she's celebrating a birthday today.
Happy
birthday! Sorry about all the
How old is Anna?
She said, I love softball and working with special needs kids, and I listen every day to the Aftercast, so I don't know.
I was hoping like an 8-year-old, like, what's your stance on Israel and Hamas?
Okay, question. When you look back on your school years, what was the worst thing at the time that you thought was bad, but now you look back and you laugh at it?
All my breakups.
Oh, yeah.
All the times I got broken up
all
with.
the drama.
Because you're sitting there in that moment.
Even the 2-fingered girl that broke up with you.
Okay. No,
wow.
Moving on.
What?
You're going to earn yourself another frowny face sticker.
No, I got one, but I turned it upside down, so it's a happy face
get a
sticker.
second one? No, but I mean, like, you get broken up with, and in those moments, you're just like, wrecked, and your whole world is crashing down in that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you take things very seriously at 16 or 15 or 17 years old, and now looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that's great. It, led me to finding my wife and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But in the moment, tough times.
What about you, Rock?
I remember in the 11th grade, my math teacher, math was and still is my worst subject, but I remember her saying...
I was surprised you passed math in college, I'll be honest with you, because I barely did.
Hey, listen, I'm right there with you.
I know, I barely got through it, and I took the most basic
every
math.
night for me. She was like, I don't know, God, you got to carry her through. So in 11th grade, my math teacher said, if I don't call your name, then you don't have to take the exam, the final exam. And I was like, I'm in. Betty, top of the list.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Did you think that?
And so, no.
Okay.
So she's like, Adam, Amy, Brian, Beatrice, Elizabeth.
No.
And I'm like, dang it. And I remember thinking, this is the worst thing possible. And it was, because I had to take an exam. And I remember her handing me a piece of paper with a ruler or a chart on it. And I remember thinking, what does this even mean?
What do I do with that? Have I been asleep this whole time?
She had said at the beginning before the exam, she said, okay, just tell me where I need to start in the book so that you can pass this exam. And I was like, honestly, let's start from the beginning.
Oh,
I think it's funny now, but at the time I thought it was the worst thing ever, and it really was. But I can laugh at it now.
Was it let's say with math? Was math more of a difficult to understand thing, or I think the problem, effort.
It was a lack of effort and care.
Okay.
Because I thought to myself, best case scenario, I'm going to get a job at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. When will I need to know the circumference of the sun? When will I need to calculate?
Boy, I wish that had happened for you.
Yeah,
you would have been doing better.
I just didn't care, because I thought, why does it matter where Y and X is? I see it. There's Y. There's X. Right. And why do I care if Jimmy is in a rowboat going 3 miles an hour? I don't care. Make it make sense. And
I wish you had gotten a job at McDonald's and worked with Nubia, because
you
Nubia
could be someone else's Nubia.
Yeah, Nubia would just be such would just be such a good influence on you. You would be a better person today if Nubia was your mentor, not me. You would be such a better influence.
Most of us would be better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay,
less
what would
successful. Mine's actually serious. Because I was thinking about this, and I'm like, the thing that I used to not like. My parents sacrificed so that I could go to a school I should not have been able to go to. My mom worked there so that we got free tuition and stuff like that. And so it was a school with a bunch of rich kids. We were not a rich kid family at all. And so my dad worked hard. My dad was blue collar, worked construction. And at the time, it was like, I remember being like, really like, oh, he's picking me up in the work truck, because the work truck was all beat up and it was old, and all these other kids had just gotten their new Camaros, and Daddy bought them this and that, and my dad would pick me up from work, and my dad was dirty from work, his clothes were dirty and things like that, and at the time, as a kid, I thought that was a big deal, because I cared what other kids thought, and looking back on it now, I'm like, you idiot. Like, I'm about to cry. Like, it breaks my heart that
you were embarrassed.
That I was that I thought that, because my dad was one of the hardest working people that I've ever known. I got my work ethic from him. I got a lot of my humor from him. He was a good man, and the fact that me as a dumb kid would have been embarrassed by hard work when all these other people probably didn't do jack and had things handed to them. And that's what I valued, or something like that. I hate that I had those thoughts back then.
But I think most kids typically find themselves.
If I could go back, we always say, oh, would you go back in time and redo something? 100% I would redo that. 100%.
I mean, the big thing.
And I would thank my dad for working so hard for me.
Because you've said it earlier. You wanted Haley to thank you. You wanted to be thanked for what you guys did for Haley.
Absolutely.
Do you ever, though, look at that and you say, maybe I should treat my son Hayden the same way?
No.
I work hard for him.
Not a bit.
He's out here dragging him out of the series.
Not a bit.
Give him something that he doesn't deserve just because you love him. Out of the kindness of your heart.
He deserves nothing. He needs to pull himself by his own bootstraps, and he needs to make his own way in this world. No, the other part of that too is like my dad. Yeah, my dad would come to my games, and he would be at the.
Bless him, and he knew he wasn't missing anything.
I know, yeah. One day I'll get in, but he still kept showing up on the hopes that maybe I'd get to play.
That bench wouldn't be the same without you.
Go, son! No one hands other guys water bottles like you. But like he would come straight from work and be sitting in the crowd with everybody, and sometimes he would bring like a shirt or a change of clothes, but most time he wore what he had because he was just whipping in there, to be there in time. But to be there, he was there, And again, like,
it's always
you didn't see it, you dummy. You didn't see it. Yeah, that's crushing my soul.
Yeah, age is always I think with age always comes perspective.
Sure.
Like I think as I got older and I'm having a kid now, it's like all these things where you start to look back and you're like, now I'm seeing all the great things that my parents did. But little 14-year-old me didn't say, never said thank you enough to to my parents for
what
what they did.
Bennett wants to get a theater degree or a film degree?
Here's the thing. I don't know if I can pay for all of that.
You're going to still be paying off your own film degree.
Yeah,
I knew a person that had a couple kids in college, and they were still paying off their own student loans as adults.
That's
like,
crazy.
I mean, student loans, they get out of hand. Like, it's no joke. That was one of the best things my wife did for us when we got married. Is I had student loans, she didn't. Like, her parents paid for us. I had to pay for my whole college. I paid for everything. Every dime of it I paid for.
Hayden knows exactly where you're from.
Yeah, he does, and he's going to be stronger because of it. And one day, I'll shake his hand as a man. I'll look him dead in the eye.
What's your name?
Yeah, and who are you? You're my son? Okay. And
on your deathbed.
Yeah, on my deathbed, I'll look him dead in the eye and say, well done, son.
But you'll die before you say the word son.
Yeah, well.
You're going, well done. Well, it's like, I never heard him call me son.
I love you. All right, that's going to have to do it for the tears and for Aftercast. And as always,
thanks for being a buddy.
Thank you.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.